Ethereum's next cycle top may already be predictable, and in this video, I'll show you exactly when I expect it to happen. I'll also answer the big question: can Ethereum really reach $10,000? A lot of top traders believe it can, but let's see what the data says. So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into the video. So first, let's work on the halving data and see how long it can take for Ethereum to top in the next cycle. So the good thing is, we have enough data for Ethereum, so it's going to be easier for us to calculate. As you can see here, we have last 3 cycle data. In the cycle 2, it took roughly 553 days for ETH to top after halving. In the cycle 3, it took roughly 548 to 554 days for ETH to hit the cycle top. And in the cycle 4, which was our last cycle, it took roughly 491 days for ETH to hit the cycle top. So that means a rough range is around 491 days to 554 days post-halving. And if you remove the average of all 3 cycles, it comes down to 532, which also falls inside our rough range target. So as per historic halving data, the next ETH cycle top can be anywhere around August to October 2029. Now let's use another method, where can use the cycle bottom and cycle top to find out how many days it can take. So cycle second bottom to top, it took ETH roughly 815 days to hit cycle top. Then it took roughly 336 days to bottom with a 94% crash from the top. Then it took roughly 1,061 to 67 days for ETH to hit cycle top from the bottom. And after that, it took roughly 220 days for the cycle to bottom with an 82% crash. Then again, it took roughly 1,163 days for the cycle top. And so far, we have passed around 350 days with a 69.33% crash. Now, although our day's deadline is over, however, I still believe that ETH bottom is not yet in. And the reason for that is our percentage drop. So far, we have dropped only 69.33%. If you do the math, you can see every cycle the percent drop has reduced. So if we use the historical percentage drawdown method, that gives us a rough estimate of 65% to 75%. So far, we have already dumped around 69%. So we are going to take 70% to 75% crash from the top. So our last cycle top was $4,936. So if we assume a 70% crash to 75% crash, that brings us to $1,234 to $1,480. Now, if you have watched my long-term ETH chart analysis video, I had given a final bottom range exactly around the same range. So this data which we got matches very closely with our final bottom theory. Now, if you have watched my Bitcoin historic data or altcoins historic data video, you know we are expecting a final bottom around August to October 2026. So if we use historic data of ETH, a possible next cycle estimate is around 1,220 to 1,270 days, because very cycle the days have increased. So if we get a final bottom in August to October 2026, a rough range for next cycle top is around December 2028 to March 2029. Now let's come to the main question. Can it reach $10,000 in the next cycle? Or what will be the next cycle top for Ethereum? So if we assume our bottom to be around $1,234 to $1,480, and if we use the historic data of pump every cycle, you can see every cycle the percent of pump has gone down. So if we take a conservative approach, the base case is 250% to 350% pump. So a minimum target for Ethereum in the next cycle will be around 5,553, and best case would be $6,660. Now, unlike other predictions you watch on YouTube, where some traders are throwing random numbers like $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, I have given you a realistic price target with proper data and proof. Now, it's your job to use your brain and decide what to do, because my job is to just share data and give you a rough estimate target based on math. Obviously, there are some ways where you can predict the rough range for bottom and top. And if you're following me on social media pages, I will try my best to alert you. Also, I would recommend joining our VIP group, because all important information, which I don't share on public forum, is shared there. Because I personally don't share my main strategies on public domain, because if everyone does the same thing, it won't work. So you can join our VIP group as just $6 and take advantage of all the important info, which I don't share on public domain. And trust me, we are very closer to the cycle reset, and you should be prepared for it if you want to make life-changing gains.